If you're not sure how to use wire netting or chicken wire in a floral design, then today's video is just for you. So welcome back to another tutorial, and I'm a bit cross with myself today because I've got some beautiful tulips that I bought while I was supermarket shopping last week, and I haven't had time to film with them. It's been too busy here over the Easter period, so I'm filming towards the end of April. One of my favourite roses is this double-headed one. This is a supermarket rose. It's not a rose, this is a supermarket tulip. And as you can see, if you didn't believe me when I told you before, then a tulip continues to grow after it's been picked from the plant or it's been taken away from the bulb. So I haven't removed the packaging. I just haven't had time to film, and you can see how they've exploded out of the packaging. Now, according to the Acer label on my tulips, these should have gone in the bin on the 16th of April, which I think is probably over a week ago now. But aren't they amazing? They are just wonderful. And I'm going to make use of them as they are, with all these floppy, curvy, unusual shaped blooms. I'm going to make use of them in my floral design as they are. I'm not going to force them into a shape that they don't want to go. I'm going to arrange them as they are. Now, if I wrap these tight in newspaper and I cut the bottoms, they probably would straighten back up again overnight. But I'm going to leave them as they are because they are just fantastic. And we don't often get a chance to work with floppy tulips. They might not be something that you're going to enjoy, but I absolutely love all the movement in them and the curvature and the downward movement that they're going to create. I'm going to pair them up with some flowers that I've already used in a previous arrangement. I've got this lovely salmony sort of colour Gerbera, which I think works so well with those tulips. And I've also got this salmony lemon sort of colour rose. I think they work fantastically well together. And if you like that colour combination, then stick with me because we're going to look at something really nice. And you might be looking at my container and thinking, oh, Sharon, did you get that in a charity shop? Well, no, I didn't. And I'm a bit disappointed. So this is a product from Oasis Floral. If you've got a florist sundries near you, you'll be able to buy it from there. And if I can, I will link a supplier in the description box below. Now, believe it or not, I have already filmed a video about 2 months ago using this vase, and I accidentally lost it. I think I deleted it, but who knows. So this is the first time I think you're seeing these on the YouTube channel, and it is an Oasis Floral product. I've probably got to do that thing and give in and put my glasses on. It's called a ceramic shell vase, and this is the larger of the two sizes. So there is a smaller one to go with it. And I also have that. It's ideal for putting floral foam in, but I'm going to use wire netting because I think it's going to suit the style of the tulips. And I get so many questions about wire netting, and the main issue with wire netting is people try to use it flat over the top of the container like that, and that just doesn't work. You need to have the layers in the floral, oh, that's not floral foam, is it? You need to have the layers so that it supports all different parts of the stem. If we arrange just into the wire netting as it is, your flowers are either going to sink to the bottom or they're going to spin to the side. What you need to do is have all those different layers. Scrunch it up into a ball, make a little envelope sort of shape, but you need to have different layers so that it holds and supports the stem. So now, instead of it dropping all the way through, it'll stay in a position that you want it to go. And you need to always remember that when you're arranging into a container that doesn't have floral foam, you've got to make sure that your flowers are getting right to the bottom to access the water, or you've got to fill the vase right to the top. Now, my arrangement today is going to be quite low and compact. I have got some branches that are going to come up a bit higher, but I'm not going to worry about taping that in. If I was going tall, I would tape that in over the top with some green floral tape. But I think that's going to be quite secure in there. This is from a DIY shop, and this is a plastic coated wire. So when you put your flowers in, they don't get quite so damaged when you insert them in. And then my next option is to fill it with water. And do you like my jug? There seems to be a lobster trend going on at the moment in wedding work. I saw this and I couldn't resist. And when I say there's a lobster theme going on, I don't mean there's a lobster theme going on in floral arrangements. I mean in the stationery and the menus that go alongside a wedding. Thought I'd better explain that one. So we've got water about halfway up. I would probably raise it up a bit higher if I was giving this to somebody as a gift, or it was going to be in situ for a long time. And what I'm going to do first of all is cover some of the wire net in there in the middle, and I'm going to use these lovely roses. Now these, again, very much like my tulips, these are probably about 10 days old, but it goes to show that if conditioned properly, they do last really well. And my main problem with this arrangement, as you can probably see, is because I've already cut them short, I don't have the length in the stems to make the arrangement taller by using just the roses. So what I'm going to do is layer up. So first of all, I'm going to create almost like a base layer. And I don't like doing this with expensive flowers, but I don't have an option today. You could do that with hydrangea heads, chrysanthemums, you could do it traditionally with greenery, but I'm going to do this look that's really fashionable, particularly for wedding work, where you use big expensive flowers to cover your mechanics. I've got 4 in there. It's quite a structured look. I wanted a bit more informal than this. So I'm going to pop another one in to make 5. And really today's video is just about making use of a couple of flowers that I've already got here. And I can do the same with the Gerbera and just creating a little bit of base weight to really cover that wire netting. And when I have an option and I have slightly taller Gerbera, I will bring the height up a little bit. But most of the height that I'm going to do today is going to be created with some foliage, some pussy willow, and those lovely cascading tulips. But it's going to be a front-facing design when it's finished. The front is where you're looking at it now, and there's nothing I can do with those short stem flowers, but it's really helped cover that wire netting and to create some visual weight at the bottom, which is important in floral design. We don't have all the flowers up here, we need weight at the bottom as well. And now what I'm going to do is put in these amazing tulips. And what I'm going to do is look at the individual shapes. They are probably all going to look the same. But that is going to work so nicely, just really casually draping in. And it's going to hopefully look like one of those amazing paintings, those Dutch Flemish paintings that we get inspired by when we're learning floral design. And because I've left the greenery on at the bottom, that's going to give me a bit of substance here, and it will help support a couple of the roses as I get a bit taller. So let's make the most of the shapes, cascading them down over the front. I don't want them perfectly lined up. I want them to tell a little story of just a bit of opulence and grandeur. And I still want to bring this colour towards the middle. I don't just want it on the outside. So by cutting a few shorter, I can weave them through to the middle. And I'm not, again, going to worry too much about where it ends up. They're going to speak for themselves. I'm not looking to create formal patterns and structures like I would do with a traditional design. I'm going to make something that's a bit more relaxed and a bit more free-flowing. And you could probably refer to this as a bit of a boho crescent. It's a bit more free-form or freestyle. And there's a possibility by tomorrow that I don't like that one there, I'm just going to cut it a bit shorter. There's a possibility that by tomorrow the tulips will have started to straighten up because I've given them a fresh cut. They might straighten up slightly. So what I've ended up there with at the moment is a very disjointed floral design. The middle part of the arrangement is very structured and formal. And then I have 4 or 5 nodding heads all angled out towards the front, and it looks like two very different designs. So I'm going to open up one of the heads of these magnificent double tulips and add that in on the side as well. So we don't have these really big, heavy placements of the individual tulips. It's not all gelled together, it's not all connecting together. And rather than them being quite evenly spaced out, I'm going to take this one out and I'm going to add it to the one in the middle, so the design doesn't look quite so patterned across the front then. There is greenery going in towards the end, so that really obvious placement across the front hopefully will be hidden by the time I finish. But what we don't want is all those tulips in that really straight line. They just don't look like they're part of the rest of the arrangement. Now, I always tell you, don't have those wings on either side that are perfectly matching. So what I'm going to do on this side here is add in another tulip so we don't end up with those two flappy wings, and it makes the design a bit more asymmetric and not quite so visually formal. Now, I do absolutely love that. I like the way it's coming together. And what I'm going to do with some rosemary is cut some shorter pieces, and this is almost going to act like a cushion, and it's going to support my remaining gerbera and my roses so that we can get a bit of height with the flowers that are left. I don't want everything lost inside that container. Now, I could have filled that container with greenery first and that would have given me that cushioned effect, but I'm trying to do a design that doesn't use too many foliages, because I know many of the viewers struggle to arrange because they can't get hold of lots of greenery. But because I've got that quite full, dense piece of rosemary in there, it almost gives like a cushion to support the flowers. The stems are going to be reaching the water, but it holds it up and stops it sinking in amongst that framework that I created with the wire netting right at the very beginning. I think I might be on to my last gerbera. Let's get that in slightly towards the side, and remember that we're not looking for this design to be symmetrical on either side. I don't want it perfectly balanced. I want it to be quite natural and very much free flowing. Next of all, I've got some garden Acer, and this is a really rich burgundy sort of red, which is really going to connect nicely with all the different colours that I've got in the arrangement. And this now gives me the ability to extend the arrangement outwards, and this piece looks really nice leaning over to the right hand side as we look at it. If I think it's hiding the tulips, I can trim the foliage off a little bit at the end, and then again I'm going to look to see which shape this is naturally forming and place it in the arrangement so that it makes the most of that natural shape. I've just got to be really mindful that it goes deep enough into the wire netting so that it reaches the water at the bottom. And now this has like elevated the design. It's made it more impressive and more in keeping with the size of my container, because that white shell structure of the container can be quite dominant, and I want to draw your eye slightly out. Now, whenever I'm teaching an arrangement here, whether it's in work or whether it's on YouTube, I always encourage you to try and link the colours in your container with your flower choice, because you get a really natural and cohesive design. And I failed slightly on that today. I don't have any white flowers on the top, but you can really see that the design almost splits in two. I get this very rich and quite opulent top and quite a stark white base, and they don't gel quite as nicely together as I would want. So I have some really lovely pieces of trailing ivy, and just by sculpting them in your hand, it will give me the ability to trail this down over the front of the container. And now, because that vase is full of lots of different greeneries and flowers, it now gives me the ability, if I need to lift a few of those flowers out, because there's something to support them. And the reason I didn't fill the container with lots of greenery in the very beginning is because I just didn't want that fussy look, and I wanted to show you what you could do without using too many pieces of greenery. It's just a case now of manipulating that ivy around the front so that it creates quite a natural look. And I think this one is nicely shaped to fit in on the side with those two extended lengths of tulip. Make sure it's right the way in to the vase, and again just use the warmth of your hand just to manipulate it into the shape you want it to go. Now the beauty of using wire netting is that we don't have to worry about covering the foam there at the back because there isn't any foam to hide. You can also slightly move your flowers around. If you've cared for your flowers properly and you've removed all the thorns and the foliage from the bottom, then it's easy to move them around. If you've left any leaves or thorns on the bottom of your stems, then it's going to be much harder for you to pull them out and move them around. Now my two tulips in the front are hanging very much in the same position. So I'm going to remove this one, cut it a bit shorter and get it further down into the foam. So I don't have two flowers dangling together in the front. They almost look like a set of bells there swinging on the front. So by cutting them shorter, I've now got a much better step design, and those tulips work much better in that front position. Now you probably know that I really love to use different types of twigs and branches in floral design because it creates a lot of movement and it extends the height and shape of the arrangement up. Now I haven't got to worry so much about the contorted hazel being in water, but I'm really lucky to have all these different pieces of contorted hazel. And what I'm going to do with this one is sit it so that it comes down the front of my container and blends in really well with those trailing tulips. Now one of the beauties of using pieces of the contorted hazel or any types of twigs and branches is that you get the ability to use it as a support network or like an armature to hold your flowers into place. So just lifted up the tulips so that they're on top of that contorted hazel and it holds them really nicely into place. I think I'm going to make the decision to take the ivy out from the front because it's too messy and it's detracting away from the lovely movement that I've created with the hazel. So I'm going to make that executive decision and I'm going to take it out. And then you can have a look at it again. It's spoiling that nice line that's been created by the movement of the contorted hazel. So that's what it looks like without. I am going to put it back in, but I'm going to use it on this side here just to strengthen that side of the arrangement. And other than adding a small piece of the rosemary towards the front, I think I'm done with this arrangement. Now for those of you who really love the formal styles of arranging that I quite often do on the channel, you might not like this style because you might see it as a bit untidy and lacking in those formal positions that you quite often see me do. But for those of you that really love that loose freestyle style of arranging, that was a mouthful, then I hope you're going to really enjoy this one. I'm also going to thin out the Acer on this side here because it's a bit too heavy and it's really spoiling the look of that nice draping tulip, and I'm going to put it back into the arrangement here. And you're going to have to let me know what you think. Do you love it or do you hate it? Is it a style that you would like to copy at home? It's very natural, very organic. There's no set placements of flowers. But for me, it's a beautiful, really rich colour combination and I absolutely love it. And don't forget to subscribe, ask as many questions as you want in the comment box, and let me know, most of all, if you're a florist or a flower arranger and what you enjoy most about the tutorials. And I'll see you very soon for the next one. Bye for now.